for the national service. We have great respect for this woman. We will definitely miss you. Let me also welcome Norman Floyd Barnes, SATV's geopolitical correspondent based in Washington. Norman, you have heard that former 3 times Prime Minister, a leader who was uncompromising in her mood and move, she has died this morning. It is a huge breaking news for the Bangladeshi people. I would appreciate when the biography of her will be ended, you will also put some of your comments. How do you know her? What do you know her? And what will be the Bangladeshi people will lose during her absence in terms of democratic fight. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see a documentary is running on SATV's screen where we can see the uncompromising, unifying leader of Bangladesh's politics, the chairperson of one of the largest political party in Bangladesh, Bangladesh Nationalist Party. She has passed this morning. We are in a heavy heart. She was the wife of Bangladesh's president, who was very popular for his nation-centric politics and nation-centric development moves. We'll go to the discussion, but before that, let us remember a person whose contribution will be in the history of Bangladeshi people's lives, politics and democracy. She was absolutely uncompromising on issues that Bangladeshi people will not get benefits. She has been offered different times by the military juntas, but she did not compromise. She is the person that was with a strong personality. She was a wonderful woman. I personally have 3 years experience working with her in her press wing while she was the Prime Minister from 2001 to 2005. I have seen what a dignified personality. I have seen what a very strong personality she is. I have seen how she operates a country. She never compromised with neighboring countries' illegal or not pro-Bangladeshi policies. She introduced low-cost policy. She tried to build business bridge, diplomatic bridge with China, Japan, Malaysia, and of course Thailand. She was focused on SARC, which has been built by her husband, former President Major General Ziaur Rahman. Ladies and gentlemen, we will remember her. The Bangladeshi people will remember her. Her fight for democracy will be remembered. Her contribution to rule this country will be remembered. Ladies and gentlemen, first let me get the impression from Professor Rashid, my very favorite political science teacher at Dhaka University. Sir, what is your feelings?
Thank you. As you stated, it's a very mourning moment for the country. It's a sorrowful development that we have been watching whole days today. So I think you rightly stated she was a unparalleled leader in terms of, like, you know, in South Asia we have seen this kind of presidencies. Indira Gandhi, the daughter of Jawaharlal Nehru, Benazir Bhutto, the former the Prime Minister in Pakistan, and then in Bangladesh, Khaleda Zia, and then Sheikh Hasina is also another example. Like, so we have seen this kind of family takeover of the leadership from familial root. But Sheikh Khaleda Zia was, when she started the leadership, she was not ready for that. But the way she managed the affairs of the state, the way she managed the legacy of the state building that Ziaur Rahman started, particularly in post-1980s period, the way the reconstruction of Bangladesh has taken place, the way our diplomatic relations with the Middle Eastern countries taken place to export our human labor and to channeling the remittances in our economy, in our rural development, and also the and then post-90s, the economic liberalization of the country, everything has been, her role was instrumental, and she played a marvelous role, as I said, in terms of primary education enrollment, in terms of our educational development in 1990s, and also sanitation, health, those aspects was tremendous. She was behind this, and also, as I said, the economic liberalization of the country, and also connecting Bangladesh with the global economies. And that also had taken shape during her period in 1990s. So immensely after the 1971, the state reconstruction, the state building, everything, she has a success, as I said, as I must admit that. And she has also built a great political culture, as we seen bi-party political system here in Bangladesh. But unfortunately, that has broken down since 2008. That's a sorrowful event.
Exactly, sir. Let us include Norman Floyd Barnes. He is a very good friend of Bangladeshi people. Bangladeshi people has great respect for his attachment with the Bangladeshi media business. Sir, you have heard the breaking news that former 3 times Prime Minister Begum Khaleda Zia, who is considered as the unifying figure for the Bangladeshi people, she has died this morning. Would you please put your condolence to her family, to her party, and of course to the people of Bangladesh? Sir Norman from Washington, D.C.
Good morning. With great and saddened heart, I wish to send my condolence to the family of the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh. We have a heavy heart. The people of the United States shares your sorrow. We know that she has moved to a better place. She has created an environment where Bangladesh is now will be a better country moving forward. The people should be proud that they was gifted with such I call an angel, political person that has given them the idea of what could be, not what is, in terms of dealing with politics and the future of Bangladesh. So we have a heavy heart here, and we wish the people of Bangladesh goodwill and blessings to the family. And hopefully, people will learn from her example, her shining example as one of the first female politicians, prime ministers, and leaders in terms of government in South Asia. The world will miss her. But Bangladesh has the benefit of learning and been involved in touching her. So praise to the families, praise to the people, and thank God for the blessing.
Thank you, sir. Let me read out some of the developments and expressions is coming from around the globe. Pakistani President Asif Ali Zardari has expressed his condolence for the departure of former 3 times Prime Minister Begum Khaleda Zia. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed his concern and his condolences. Turkey President Recep Erdogan has pressed publicly and sent a condolence letter to Bangladesh Chief Advisor. And earlier, coming into this show, I was listening the national speech by the Chief Advisor of Interim Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. He clearly says Bangladesh has lost the most popular unifying figure, a guardian, a mother, and all-time fighter for democracy. These words push us to understand what we have lost today. Our condolences to the family, our condolences to her supporters, to her party, and to the people of Bangladesh who used to love her. We'll give you more updates, ladies and gentlemen. Let us again go to Washington, because there are many breaking news is popping up in the international media. I just received one breaking news that Saudi-led coalition strike Yemen port Aden. Saudi Arabia's military coalition carried out a strike on Yemen's Mukalia port, targeting weapons and vehicles linked to separatist forces. Riyadh accused foreign-backed shipments to the Southern Transitional Council and demanded the UAE withdrawal forces from Yemen within 24 hours. It is a huge move by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to his allies country and member of Gulf Council of Countries UAE. It means and it indicates that GCC is in a turmoil right this moment. This escalation poses fresh Gulf tensions. I want to begin from Norman from Washington. You have heard this just breaking news at this moment, and if you have any more breaking news you want to put for today's discussion, because Professor Rashid, a very intelligent person, is here in this studio, we can discuss any issue. Sir.
Thank you for the opportunity. Yes, this is breaking news regarding the issue regarding Yemen, and more importantly, the involvement of the UAE. Saudi has initiated attack with calls regarding Yemen, and the more important and the more interesting part of this is that the ties went with the UAE. Saudi has issued a stern warning to Abu Dhabi regarding this, that they would not condone this type of behavior. And right now, the tensions are very high in the region. The resources here in Washington is now trying to, I guess, communicate with them and find out exactly what's going on and what need to be done to resolve this pressure situation within that region. So this is a real concern, breaking news, and everything is now focusing on how we can address this issue to avoid future conflict.
I have one more breaking news in my hand. On the other part, eastern part of the world, we can see China launches major military drills around Taiwan. China has begun large-scale military exercises surrounding Taiwan, warring against separatism and showcasing force amid high tensions in that eastern region in China South Sea. Sir, I will come to you for several questions, but before that let me humbly welcome SATV's international affairs commentator Shamsul Alam Pantho right now in the studio. Sir, we are discussing that with a very heavy heart. We have accepted the news that 3 times Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Begum Khaleda Zia, she was the chairman of one of the largest political party in Bangladesh, has died this morning. What is your opening condolences message to the viewers?
Thank you so much, Mr. Kanchan. Greetings to Professor Rashid Alam, and of course greetings towards Norman Floyd Barnes joining us from Washington DC. Actually a message of condolences from here in SATV and the SA group family towards Begum Khaleda Zia, who of course had passed away the early hours of today at 6 a.m. in the morning. We understand that it is a very difficult time for not only her family as well as those in the nation that are of her party supporters. Everyone is now in a state of mourning. I know the chief advisor had said a 3-day mourning will be now observed throughout Bangladesh and its foreign missions abroad. But having said that, let's begin the discussion for today. As I was hearing, you were saying about China launching major drills in and around Taiwan. This is actually a very big news coming out of Asia. I did have a discussion about it yesterday. However, we must give notice to this fact that US allies in the region are now being targeted by China. It could be South Korea next, it could be Japan, and of course Japan had earlier on issued a statement saying that it will not entertain China's forces in its waters. So once again I can say that the entire world is going through a push and pull rhetoric if in regard to war and war fronts.
Excellent, sir. I want to come to Professor Dr. Rashid. China has spoken. China has spoken very clearly, showing its military mighty. I just want to know what message is Beijing trying to send to the rest of the world with this show of military dominance?
Thank you. I think it's an outcome of when USA approved $11 billion arms deals to the Taiwan I mean, last month, I think.
Yes, sir.
So it's a development against that announcement, I think. And earlier, Japan's Prime Minister also probably said in a sentence like any threat to Taiwan Japan will consider its own security threat as well. So I think the U.S. allies in this region, I think, I mean, this kind of a statement and provocating actions, I think, might have angered China to go for this kind of major military drills that we are seeing now. So I think this is more like a more than actual warfare. It's like a psychological warfare and psychological way of showing China's might in the region. I think although US has major allies in this region, but China also have his own friends and own allies in this region, and also China's own military might and the number of armed personnel they have, I think, huge in terms of that. So I think it is more like a show, I think, like a psychological warfare, psychological way of showing their deterrence, showing their mighty warfare capacities. So this is one of the way to threatening, I mean, Taiwan and also US allies that nothing you can do, and if you do, I mean, particularly the arms deals, $11 billion arms deals that Taiwan is interested about and taking from US, I think the major reason behind this major arms drilling.
Very well explained. After your statement, I need to go to Washington to talk with Norman Flatt-Barnes, who has a decades of years of experience on diplomacy. Sir, how might these drills impact cross Taiwan Strait? And let me know, what role should the US and the regional allies play in response?
Thank you for that very intriguing question. The point is, Beijing is sending a stern message to the world, particularly to the supporters of Taiwan, the Western supporters of Taiwan, and particularly the U.S. Basically, what they're saying is these military drills, are being conducted very close to the international lines of Taiwan, and the message is clear that the Republic of China, has the ability to provide a total blockade and to basically cut off and isolate Taiwan from any type of international aid. So this drill is basically a clear indication to the West and Taiwan that we can completely block any type of international aid, regardless of your military surplus or funds you're getting into the area. So this is something that China is very serious about. They consider this is a breach of their relationship with Taiwan, and the Western world is breaching this relationship with Taiwan and China, and they will not tolerate this type of behavior. So right now they're prepared to provide a total blockade and avoid and allow and to create a situation where none can get into the region, which will cause another situation like we dealing with off the coast of Venezuela. If these situations continue, the likelihood of a incident is high. So right now, this is a very sensitive matter, and the world should look at this, and there should be communications to avoid any future escalation.
All right, Norman is always very diversified. His analysis is extremely diversified. After Norman and after Professor Rashid, I'm very curious to ask two questions which is best for Shamsul Pantho. So number one is, could this escalation push Taiwan closer to formal independence? This is question number one. I have one back-to-back question for you. What are the possible economic fallout effects on global markets and tech supply chains, because Taiwan is one of the largest producer of chip?
Thank you so much for the question. Of course, we know that the recent Chinese military drills that are taking place. It followed by a significant event earlier on, which includes almost $11 billion of arms sale towards Chinese defense forces by the courtesy of the United States of America, which Beijing sees as very retaliatory in the region. So that is one of the issues that are going around on the social media. But if you look at the economic fallout of, if there was to be a reunification with China, a major warlike situation would be created. And of course, it wouldn't just be Taiwan in general fighting China, it will also be the US allies, Japan and South Korea. But as we know it, China is the largest production house and manufacturing house for semiconductors and chipsets. These are the motherboards that require and push industries that everyone is heavily dependent on. One of those which include the smartphone industry. Every year, there's 2 times of the year that they get the market traction for releasing new mobile phones into the market. That would be heavily disrupted. The prices of these goods would be skyrocketing, some even out of reach of common consumers. So once again, I would like to say that if Taiwan is dragged into a war with China or any other forces, it would be detrimental for global economy and its regional partners as well.
I have received one news in our social media, that is Sharul Islam Bhuban. He made a question along with a news links he has given. I found this question is very relevant. China's military generals are saying on Tuesday it had deployed Navy destroyers, bombers and other forces as part of the war games, which Beijing claims are aimed at separatist and external forces. So far, I'm a student of political science. I have been into journalism business since last 28 years. I have never heard there are separatists in Taiwan. I have never heard there are internal violence among the population of Taiwan. What kind of statements China is pushing towards the world? They are claiming and they are justifying separatists are there inside Taiwan. I want to get your impression first, then I will come to the expert.
First of all, as you mentioned, the separatists, those who came from the independence, as the independence of Taiwan had happened, one thing is for sure, in broader senses, if you remove the names China and Taiwan, we can see the mainland fighting an island. That's the situation, or that's the scenario in my opinion.
Let me get the comments from Norman Flat Barnes. Norman, we know what does it mean external forces. It is Japan. We know what does external forces means. It is United States and its allies. Would you mind to comment on that? Why Chinese general are pushing news that there are separatists in Taiwan, and what would be the role of the external forces? I think you have a very smart answer on this.
Thank you for the question. My response is that it appears that China is developing a plan to control the area. The United States funding of the defense there and the communications with Japan and the other communications in the area has created a situation where China is now feeling that their sovereignty, their national security is now being challenged by the Westerns. Basically, they're saying the Westerns are in Taiwan and they're stirring up and trying to separate the country, dealing with the issue we know about is the technology the Western world needs. China wants Taiwan to remain part of China, or close friends or close family, or part of their nation, they consider. So any type of inference from the outside, external, meaning the United States, Europe, and other parts of the world, trying to influence and impact the Taiwan people from the main concept of China will not be tolerated. So China is prepared to provide a situation where none of the resources, and what we're talking about is they have import and exports. The exports is technology, semiconductors. If these semiconductors cannot leave Taiwan, we're going to have a big problem because the world right now, everything is on artificial intelligence, smartphone technology, whatever. So that will create a real problem. China knows that. China will use that as leverage in dealing with issues in the world. So the situation is more not Taiwan, is basically China is using Taiwan as the battlefield, the proxy to deal with the influx of the Western industrial machine in this region. They do not want the Westerns in this area. So basically, they're going to provide a situation where these resources that Taiwan sends out to the world can't go out, and the Western impact can't come in. So it's about isolation.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Very smart. And, sir, of course, I assume that you will put a very smart response here. For Professor Rashid, I want to link 5 issues. United States and Venezuela issue, Russia and Ukraine issue, Israel and Gaza issue, and you have heard this morning Saudi Arabia attacked on Yemen port. Now you are hearing that China has installed and assembled its submarine destroyer, bombers, everything surrounded in Taiwan. What is the conclusion? What is the symptoms? What is the signals we are getting?
So I think, yeah, we are relatively in a stable global situation at the moment, like, you know, the conflict emerging in various parts of the world, as you mentioned. Like, so the US Venezuela conflict is also another dimension of actually where China is also somehow relevant. Like, you know, China recently have a massive investment in Latin American zones and also American different seaport. They have been heavily invested. So the way US actually taking using the narcotic issue is actually not the the core issue. Actually, US try to regain some of its control in Venezuela and also other parts of like Latin America, where China recently has made huge investment. Like, now USA also try to build, punish the China's allies, particularly Brazil, particularly Venezuela, also heavily rewarding like its allies like Argentina, where I think a generous, US aid deal has been announced for Argentinians. So I think the Venezuelan conflict actually regaining US own position in those strategic location in Latin America. And also secondly, when you talk about the Russia-Ukraine issues, I think we are still in a uncertainty. Although there are huge development in terms of peace talks, but we don't know when actually that deal may take in places. And then in China, Taiwan issues, and also, like, you know, globally we are heavily in a stable period at the moment, like which have a huge impact on people's lives and livelihood, particularly global inflation, global supply of commodities, global supply chains will be heavily affected, and that also have been influenced the global metal market, particularly huge rise of the price of gold, silver in recent times, and also weakening US dollars, and also heavily causing some sort of panic in various parts of the world. If you also know that in Iran there is also some recent development where people came out to the street because of their real or tuman also heavily fall against US dollar because of like the US sanction, and also poor economic policies there. The governor of the Iranian state bank also recently resigned. So huge development in terms of, and huge panicking situation working around the psyches of people across the globe, and also the traders across the globe. So I think we are looking for better future, but unfortunately we are stuck with the conflict and armament and
absolutely. Very clear analysis. As Norman has a time limitation, I just want to draw his attention that MBS Mohammed bin Salman has given 24 hours time to withdraw the UAE troops from Yemen. This is another breakthrough, because Saudi Arabia has an alliance which is called GCC, Gulf Council of Countries, and these 6 countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Oman, Kuwait, Qatar and Bahrain, they have long understanding on regional securities, but this Yemen issue is making us to understand that division is going to be happen. How you will explain your position on this? Why MBS is threatening UAE president to withdraw his troops from Yemen?
Yes, thank you for the question. As we know, the GCC headquarters is in Abu Dhabi. So also Abu Dhabi is the capital of the UAE. So there's intense conversations right now on how to resolve this issue. The actual troops will have to leave the country to avoid any future further escalations. The conversation now tends towards why was this attack necessary? Why did the UAE provide support and resources to this situation in Yemen? And Saudi is now in a position of taking the offensive, which is traditionally not what they do. So there's something really miscommunicated in Abu Dhabi right now. So Abu Dhabi right now is trying to work out, figure out a way, how can we suppress this issue and get back into a normal routine and avoid any future future escalation. So right now we have a trust issue going on, and that is not good for the GCC.
Sir Norman, special thanks and gratitude for your extreme devotion on journalism. You have taught us so many things, how to see things from a bird's eye, how to be neutral. I really appreciate, and I personally have learned many things from you. I wish you a very, very good day. Happy New Year, sir. We need to go to a short commercial break, and after that I'll request our production team to run the biography and visual biography of former 3 times Prime Minister Begum Khaleda Zia, because our audience is seriously demanding us. They want to hear from us regarding her departure, what is the next, what would be the programs. We will run the biography of Begum Khaleda Zia after the short break, and we will commentary on that.
সারা দেশে লাখো মানুষের কঠোর কর্মতৎপরতা ও নিষ্ঠায় এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন 16 কোটি মানুষের হাতের নাগালে। দীর্ঘ 30 বছর ধরে বিশ্বস্ততা ও দ্রুততার সাথে সেবা দেওয়ায় গ্রাহক সেবায় এখন শীর্ষে। বাংলাদেশে গ্রাহক সেবার সাফল্যের পর এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন বিশ্ব বাণিজ্য কেন্দ্র সিঙ্গাপুরে। আপনার যে কোনো পণ্য সিঙ্গাপুর থেকে বাংলাদেশে বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন। এসএ পরিবহন প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড, লজিস্টিক্স পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, 22 রবার্টস লেন, সিঙ্গাপুর 218302। ফোন 0065 629 24900। বাংলাদেশ থেকে সিঙ্গাপুরে পণ্য বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন ঢাকা সহ দেশের যে কোনো 80টি শাখা কেন্দ্রে। এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, আপনার সেবা সব সময়।
Welcome, Grand Palace Hotel, Dhaka. A majestic lobby blending timeless elegance with modern design. Experience 5-star comfort.
As you all heard that we have expressed our heavy heart in the news of departure of former 3 times Prime Minister and Chairperson of Bangladesh Nationalist Party has passed away this morning, and I will request our production team to start running the visual biography that people wants to see right this moment. Production. She has born on 15th August 1945. She was the wife of former President Major General Ziaur Rahman. In an unexpected coup in 1981, when General Zia has died, President Zia has died, she was silent for 1.5 years at home. Later she felt she needs to come forward to fight for the democracy, and she was one who was uncompromising, unifying figure in the democracy of Bangladesh. She has run this country for 3 times as Prime Minister. I'm sure our international affairs commentator Shamsul Alam Pantho will add something regarding these iconic, legendary politicians of Bangladesh.
Of course, at this moment we can see that the entire nation is going into a state of mourning from today onwards until the next 3 days. I know that it is an untimely death. We were all expecting of a recovery so that we can all, not only I but the entire nation can hear her voice one more time, and I believe all the political parties of Bangladesh have delivered their condolences message toward the loss of such a leader. We know that she was going through a health decline, suffering from chronic liver disease, arthritis and heart and kidney complications. Many notices were given for her travel abroad, but the situation at Evercare Hospital, she did not recover from all of these illnesses combined. She had led a life of a valiant struggle for this country as well, and today she is lived by her son, Mr. Tariq Rahman, the BNP acting chairman, and of course his daughter Zaima Rahman, and of course the family is completely broken as far as I would know. And of course she had been the 3-time Prime Minister of Bangladesh, and of course oversaw the return of parliamentary democracy in the 12th constitutional amendment in 1991 up until 1996. But I'm sure we have more information regarding her and her legacy. I would like to pass it to Mr. Rashid Alam to pass on his condolences messages as well.
Absolutely. From a political science perspective, I must admit her greater role she played, particularly in developing bipartisan political system in Bangladesh, particularly leading the Bangladesh Nationalist Party since 1990s, and particularly managing the helm of the national affairs since 1990s, particularly the development issues like the human development issues, particularly the girls' education, particularly our improvement of health, sanitation, access to pure drinking water, and also the rural development, and also accelerating the remittance growth, which ultimately the backbone of the Bangladesh economy. Everything she has contributed immensely, particularly continuing the President Ziaur Rahman legacy in these terms of state reconstruction, state building, particularly post 1970 war period. So I think she's an visionary leader, and in terms of her attitude to the democratization, her attitude to the military rule during the later of 1980s against the then President Ershad, and also the wave of the democratization that we have seen, her uncompromising leadership was also exemplary in that regard. And she also, I think, inspired the women empowerment in Bangladesh. That is another important key indicators, like the girls' education, the way we see the reducing of our gender-based violence, improving women empowerment, and also giving women a voice, giving women a leadership in the context of Bangladesh. Her example would be echoed generation after generation.
All right, sir, I can remember one thing she said in her speech, that Major Ziaur Rahman, General Ziaur Rahman, was more powerful then existing as president and comparison with when he departed. I believe that Begum Khaleda Zia will be more powerful among the population, among the people of this country when even she is absent.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, production team is directing me to go to live to the BNP's office while Secretary General of this party is doing press briefing.
বাংলাদেশকে সত্যিকার অর্থেই একটা গণতান্ত্রিক রাষ্ট্র হিসেবে আমরা প্রতিষ্ঠিত করি। সবশেষে আবারও আপনাদেরকে ধন্যবাদ জানিয়ে আপনাদের সকলের সহযোগিতার জন্য বিশেষ করে এবং আপনারা জানেন যে ইতিমধ্যেই সরকারের তরফ থেকে 3 দিন শোক দিবস ঘোষণা করা হয়েছে, আগামীকাল ছুটি ঘোষণা করা হয়েছে এবং আপনারা ইতিমধ্যে জানেন যে প্রধান উপদেষ্টা তিনি বাণী দিয়ে কথা আপনাদের সামনে জাতির সামনে কথা বলেছেন এবং আমরা সরকারকে ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি। সেই সঙ্গে দলের পক্ষ থেকে আপনারা জানেন যে 7 দিনের শোক ঘোষণা করা হয়েছে। কালো ব্যাজ ধারণ করব, কালো পতাকা উঠবে প্রত্যেকটি কার্যালয়ের, আমাদের দলীয় কার্যালয়ে এবং প্রত্যেক কার্যালয়ে দোয়া পড়া হবে, কোরআন তেলাওয়াত হবে। এই
morning programs, the BNP has decided to go for 7-day morning period, while interim government chief already declared 3 days morning following her death, with black flags and condolence books open at party offices nationwide. Plans of our funeral prayers, namazi janaza, which is an Arabic term, will be announced soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be observing every events of this issue every hour. Please be with the SATV's screen. SATV is doing extensive coverage on this particular issue. Allow me to go for a short commercial break.
In suites and rooms, sophisticated fine dining restaurant, crystal clear swimming pool for ultimate relaxation, modern gym and serene spa for well-being. Perfect venue for corporate events, weddings and parties. Seamless and secured, elegant and eye-catching design. Indulge, relax, discover the first 5-star chain hotels in Bangladesh. Grand Palace Hotel Dhaka, 22 Kakrail, Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Welcome to Grand Club at Mirpur 10 Dhaka. Elegant spa and wellness facility for ladies and gents. Play pool and snooker in international standard billiard zone. World-class gym facility with exclusive equipment for man and woman. A restaurant of delicious local and international cuisine.
I have great respect on her one speech. I want to remind all of us. She said, I don't have any home outside country. I don't have any bank account outside country. If I live, I live in this soil. If I die, I'll die in this soil. She was absolutely right. She even did not need to go outside when she was unconscious. She was in life support. She has fulfilled her promise to this land. She died here. I just want to ask our international affairs commentator regarding her legacy. You have seen how a housewife, starting from scratch, become the most unifying, respectful figure in the politics of Bangladesh, as well as her connections with the worldwide leaders is so enormous.
She has perhaps left a very big legacy, one that would be hard for family members to compare with, given that during the last ousted regime of 18 years, she had not left Bangladesh, her favorite and owning her soil, owning up to the soil she belongs to. She had lived in Bangladesh, and during 2014 or 15, right after the election, I remember a time where she was at her Gulshan residence and she was blocked off by the security personnel using trucks. The diplomacy, the truck diplomacy, as back then we would see it. But even then she stood at the helm of our house and she had fended off these remarks in a very popular interview, in a very popular report as well. We've seen how she had fought everyone and said that the current or the back then government was wrong of implicating her in various graft charges, which was just a mere method of slandering her name. But coming back to the fact, we have lost a great leader of this nation, and the nation, whether or not there should be an election up ahead, election is no longer the priority. The priority is to understand her legacy, what she fought for, what are the social and vision and mission of the party she had left behind, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, and how this party should do for the people would be intertwined in her legacy as of yet.
Thank you so much, sir. We are running a shortage of time. I want your last comments on this.
I think her legacy will be like the way she fought for free and fair elections, like the way she said no against the election engineering of the then government, the way she fought valiantly against the security forces which encircled her houses. Even she was detached from her political leaders, but she fought valiantly and she actually raised hope among her supporters, like one day the then brutal regime will be curtailed down, the brutal regime will be fallen. So that's why she actually raised hope among the partymen, among the Bangladeshi nationals. Look, you have to fight for the right, you have to fight for the justice, and you will be one day, whatever the consequences. And that way the previous regimes deal her with against the graft case, and also the way she got the treatment from the previous regime is the most unfortunate, even in our Bangladesh, in the context of Bangladesh politics that actually divided our nation at the moment. The way they see the complexities of the country at the moment, actually the outcome of that kind of divisive politics that the previous regime started. So I think this is the legacy of Khaleda Zia, the way she inspired the nationals in terms of fighting for the justice, and she inspired the ladies, particularly the Bangladeshi rural women, who are the unquestionable and the way she has huge popularity among the Bangladeshi women in the rural areas. You must admit that, I think. So that is, I think, inspired our girls, inspired our ladies to be a visionary leaders in the future that Bangladesh is expecting for. Yeah.
Fair enough to remember her. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll definitely have great respect to this uncompromising, unifying figure in Bangladeshi politics. Begum Khaleda Zia, rest in peace. We'll have prayers for you. Nation will remember you. Nation will carry out your legacy in politics. Nation will respect your integrity, personality, and dedication to the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll again see you on tomorrow.